right, thank you everyone so much for being here. I am really excited to get this event started for you. This is the Associated Students Annual Elections Debate. My name is Cody Storms, and I am the Associated Students Elections Commissioner. So I've been working since August of last year, making sure that the code of elections are up to date, making sure that we have candidates that will be able to run. And this is actually a historic year for us. We have 15 candidates for you today. So you're going to get the chance to hear each of them speak, get the chance to see them, and we will have a secondary debate March 18th. So you are going to have the chance to hear from them again. So this event is pretty historic. It is the first of its kind that we're doing in the World Theater, and it's 15 candidates over 9 different positions. So I'm very excited for you guys to meet them, and I want to thank Taylor and Bill of the World Theater and Otter Media for the YouTube live stream that should be happening now. After 2 weeks or so of campaigning, the candidates are here today for you to hear from them directly about their platforms. They'll each be asked a few questions, and they'll be given a little bit of time to speak. At most, there will be 4 candidates. At least there will be 1 to 2, depending on who is on stage. I am very excited for you to meet them all. They're all dressed very professionally. We're all very excited for this event. So without further ado, please welcome the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences Senators. That would be Drake Field, Lolly Harvey, and Riley Jew. All right, thank you so much, candidates, for being here. Are you guys excited? Yeah. Okay, so I do have a question for all of you, if you each want to take your chance to speak. How do you intend to connect with your fellow students if you're elected? What will you do that will reach out to students individually? Drake, if you want to start. You can pick up that mic. Yeah. There you go.
Can you hear me now? I intend to be very active on social media, engaging with people who reach out to me. Through my Instagram, I'll be available at all hours, the day and night, for anyone to reach out to me. Not limited by scheduling a meeting, scheduling a time or a place.
Wonderful. Lolly?
I'm someone who is pretty involved on campus, so I'm someone who, I do like a bit of an in-person, but I mean, I'm someone who will also answer emails / I'm also always willing to reach out to you as a person, but yeah, I'm someone who will always just kind of go out there and start talking to people.
Great, and Riley?
I consider myself to be a very outgoing person. I love going out around campus and meeting new people, talking to people. Some of you might have seen me walking around, like handing out stickers or snacks. I love meeting new people. I love talking and figuring out what people have concerns with or things that people like. And I think that it's really important to have that ability to go out and connect with the people, and I am very excited to hopefully do that within this position.
Wonderful. And college senators and senators in general, they have those large meetings on Mondays. So all of them meet together, and a lot of the executives are present as well. What experience do you have working in a collaborative group that would aid you in sort of these projects that senators take on together? Whoever wants to go first.
As I mentioned, I'm involved on campus, that being TPO, the Performing Arts, and so recently we just did a play, which I was the director of, and that particularly gave me a lot of experience in terms of collaboration, but also having leadership. Being in that club, generally speaking, is a very collaborative experience, and so, I mean, it's one of those things of having always been involved in a lot of people-oriented events. You just kind of pick up those skills as you go on, but for the most part, it's been a lot of just being involved in those sort of like really people-oriented things that have given me those sort of skills.
Through my service learning classes, I've been involved in Citizens for Sustainable Marina with the mayor of Marina, Bruce Delgado. That has also been a very collaborative, people-focused experience. Gotten to meet with and work with lots of different people from around the community, and it's helped to strengthen my leadership abilities.
I unfortunately am not super involved on campus right now. I am only a first-year student. I am looking to get more involved. But in the past, I have been involved in student government since 7th grade, and I've always been in leadership positions. So I do have experience in that. And in high school, I was involved in a lot of clubs, and I was involved in sports as well. So I have a lot of experience working with other people as a team, as a group, as a leader, as a member under somebody else's guidance, and yeah.
Wonderful. And when it comes to leadership opportunities and leaders who are out there, is there anyone sort of within world history or within associated students currently that you guys look up to as individual leaders?
For people in general, I have two leaders that I look up to, one being Cesar Chavez, and the other, my mother. For Cesar Chavez, he was a powerful community activist and union organizer working with United Farm Workers, which was revolutionary for people here in California. And for my mother, she was one of the first four-year graduating alumni at CSUMB. And she currently works as both a teacher at an elementary school and as a swim coach, giving back to her community. And for leaders in associated students, I'd say Liam and Serenity, if any of you know them. They're great people.
As for in history, I wouldn't say necessarily a particular person, but group of people, the Black Panther Party, headed by Huey P. Lewis, or Huey P. Newton, and Bobby Seale. I would say that particularly they saw a need within their community for protection and for many other services in which they provided. And I strive to be someone like that. I see a problem and I'd like to address it. And as particularly associate students, not to pick on our commentator, but I do particularly admire Cody's ability to get things done, but also, you know, be that workhorse that's always kind of there.
I am also going to have to say my mom. She has always been my greatest advocate, and she definitely inspires me to do the same for other people. Within this position, I hope to be a strong advocate for students in the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences to address and work toward addressing issues and any needs or wants or experiences that students in COS want to have or already enjoy.
Yeah, and speaking of issues on campus in particular, do you each have a particular issue that you want to focus on, that you have a vision for?
I think this is less of an issue, but more something that I think the school can do better. Within COS, I realize that there are not a lot of resume building opportunities for students, and I really want to work toward creating those opportunities and giving students the platform to show off their achievements and their work and have the opportunity to put what they can do on display.
Particularly for me speaking, because the CAS major the CAS college has so many majors, I particularly would like to focus on building community within those majors. I mean, right beside me are two different majors as we speak, so it's kind of one of those things of I'd like to be able to actually have a full understanding of not just my own major, but the other majors in which I house alongside me and what they particularly do, but also, you know, seeing what happens on campus and seeing what happens within, again, our broad college.
Two very important points have been made by my fellows here, which I 100% agree with, but I'm also concerned with more broader issues with this university, such as tuition prices, housing prices, parking availability. I hope that I can do the best I can with this position to address these issues that so many students here have been facing.
And as a senator, senators are the ones who oversee scholarships on campus and are the ones directly helping when it comes to sort of funding and when it comes to a lot of direct aid to students. there is a senator who created their own scholarship this semester. There are a couple scholarships that were recently created this year. Do you guys have any intent to follow through on a specific way to help with these things? Do you have a scholarship you want to create or an event you want to create?
As it stands right now, I do not have any particular scholarship that I would like to create. However, I look forward to growing and learning with this position and seeing what there is out in the world, what's needed in this college, and what I can do to support it and those students involved.
Also speaking from a place of not necessarily having a particular goal or event in mind, but sort of a general idea of wanting sort of to build community, but also working with the interim dean, James Husser. He oversees all the casts and the cast majors. And I'd like to work with him to sort of find a way to create maybe an event or some sort of thing that services the cast majors altogether.
I fully understand that students have a lot of financial issues and financial need on campus. I mean, I myself am attending CSU and beyond a full ride scholarship through the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and I would love the opportunity to be able to create something similar or any type of scholarship that would be able to help students and make sure that students are not in any financial need, or that they are able to attend a four-year university without being overly concerned about money or without being weighed down by student debt. I don't have any particular scholarship in mind, but I would love the opportunity to work with other people and develop something of the sort.
And Lolly, you mentioned the interim dean for College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. For all of you, how do you plan to sort of approach administration with student issues? How will you go about that?
I'm someone who likes to know all of the facts before I start to address things, so I would sort of do my best to research whatever the student's concern is and sort of bring all the facts together before I go to administration. And whether that be questioning the administration or, giving the administration my solution for these student concerns or whatever it had be, I would like to be able to sort of be able to face administration head on the way that you should be when taking on a role of leadership, and be fully, fully versed in whatever I'm going to bring to administration before I do so.
I completely agree. It's very important to know all of the facts before you bring something to someone in a position of authority. I would also definitely speak with the student, try to figure out exactly what is the issue and what they want to be solved, like what if they have a solution themselves. If not, I definitely would go out and try to do more research, talk to other students, see if the issue is something that is affecting a lot of people, and especially if it is, then it's very important, of course. And I also would like to say that the Dean's Student Advisory Council for COS is a very amazing resource that Dean Hassar has, and I'm also part of the Student Advisory Council. And so I think that I would also encourage the student or students to go to that and maybe talk to the dean one-on-one directly if that's something that they're interested in or can do.
Again, I completely agree with what they said, and honestly, I couldn't say it better myself. I'd like to cast a wide net, learn with this community, learn what the problems are that people are facing, and see what I can do to help with that.
Wonderful. And because James is an interim dean, there will likely be a chance that you will be sitting on a committee in order to choose the new dean. So what do you hope to see from a dean for the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences?
For a dean for the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, I would love to see someone who is open-minded and who is willing to accept criticism from students, from other faculty and staff, and who has a strong sense of commitment to the students, in the sense that this person would not see their position as like, oh, I have to go to work today, oh, I have a job, but more of an opportunity to work with students and provide students with an amazing experience at a four-year university.
I would have to say well said as well. But yeah, someone who's receptive, someone who is willing to service students who that is what they want to do. Someone who'd be willing to work and compromise as well, because I think that when you have to deal with authority, you feel as though there is no compromise with them, and if you get that feeling from them directly, it's already out the window. So somebody who you can feel open to work with, who's open to students, who is wanting to improve upon and do everything they can to sort of service us.
Oh, I completely agree. I would want someone who thinks of themselves not as an authority, but as a servant to all of our students here. Someone who is willing to listen, willing to take criticism, and have an open mind and open ears.
Yeah, wonderful. And Riley, you spoke to criticism of students towards deans or toward their administration. But being someone in a student government position, you are likely to receive criticism as well. Arguably, as the student voice, you receive it more in order to sort of buffer it for administration. So how would you go about receiving student criticism and sort of moving that forward to make change?
I am definitely not a perfect person. Chances are in this position I would make a mistake, or I would say something that comes off in an unintended way. But I am very open-minded. I try my best to be receptive to all criticism that comes toward me, and instead of becoming angry about it, definitely working on myself and seeing what I can do to change or to behave in a different way, or in a way that is more broad and allows people. It gives people the opportunity to like respect me and then understand that I also respect them.
Will you repeat the question? Because I just left my brain.
Yes. So when it comes to sort of being a student government position, you arguably are receiving criticism from students to then buffer toward administration. So how would you take in this criticism and then make change with it?
Yes. So having experience as an actor taking criticism, it is hard. But you live to learn with it. You learn to live with it. But you also take it in and you see where you can improve. And so taking criticism is a part of the job. It's a matter of if someone says I'm doing something wrong, then I see exactly why they think that way, and I either fix it, or if I think they're wrong, I continue to do the same way. But I would hope that in receiving student voices that I would, be able to improve upon myself, improve upon wherever they need me to be improved upon, and take the criticism in stride, whether it be positive or negative.
I would want to take criticism the same way I would want a new prospective dean to take criticism. I'd like to look at myself as a servant to the community, just as I would like the dean to look at themselves. And I would approach criticism with an open mind, open ears, and open heart. I know I'm not a perfect person. I know I don't know everything, and I can very easily make mistakes. And if someone is to approach me saying, hey, I think you could do this better, or you should try doing this, I will absolutely listen to them. After all, it's free help. Why wouldn't I take it?
And for my last question, candidates, what would you say for your platform is sort of the core value that you have in about 1 to 2 words? What are you focusing on as a candidate, and is a value you will focus on as the senator?
I guess to sum it up, I'd say advocacy, which is the main part of the job.
To sum it up, I would have to say responsibility. I know that if elected as senator, I will be representing a lot of people, representing a lot of different majors, and it's up to me to do what's right to them.
I will have to agree with Lolly. Definitely advocacy. I know that it's difficult sometimes for students to go to authority figures and bring up any issues or concerns that they have. And I want to be that person that helps address and advocate for those needs. And I hope that I will be able to do all of that as the senator for the college.
Wonderful. Well, I thank you all so much. Can we please give them a round of applause? It really, it isn't easy to do this. It isn't easy to get up in front of your peers and be brave and especially run for a position that will be open and to be against other people. So I commend all of you. Thank you so much for being here. And we will look forward to seeing you at the end of the debate again as well. So next we are going to have our candidates from the College of Business and the College of Education, Maddie Mendoza and Cassie Rodriguez. Go ahead and pick up those mics. Nice to see you both. So to use sort of a question that the previous group sort of bounced off of, what is a personal core value or a reason that has a strong impact on you for running for these positions?
I would say a strong impact for me is definitely being able to take student initiative. I want to be able to hear those voices, what do you think that we should do? And especially because I know there's a lot of there's a lot of concerns, a lot of complaints. You'll hear it around my raft, but I want to be in that role and have that place where I could take initiative and really act on what people are concerned about and what their complaints are.
I definitely want to amplify the voices of people who are a little afraid to speak up, or people who in general just want to share their concerns or opinions about things going on at the school. And I really want to be able to bring that up to a group of people that could actually make change and make this campus a better place for everybody.
Wonderful. And so for both of you, why run for the positions you're running for? Why College of Education and why College of Business?
I'm very passionate with liberal studies. Also it's my major, and since working this past year with this same role, I'm really excited. I really want to continue running with this role and continue with what I have planned and act on that.
Yeah, I'm also very passionate in business. I am a first year, so I am starting my journey in learning about business and stuff, but definitely am very interested in that, and I definitely want to uplift those people in my department and also get their opinions on things around our campus.
And Cassie, being the incumbent for College of Education, what are sort of the projects and what are sort of the major goals that you have that you want to continue?
So one goal that I have with my dean is technically there's this I believe there is, it's kind of a in progress thing, but I know that the government is working on, I believe it was scholarships for students with kids and just families, and me and my dean were talking about how we want to send out this form where we can get data on our school, because I don't believe we really have, we were talking about it, we don't believe we have any data on who here, who has kids here and who, struggles financially with that because of that. So that's one thing we want to work on, and we're also getting connected with President Bonney as well with that. So that's one of my projects that I was hoping to work on.
And Maddie, being brand new to the College of Business, being essentially new to the school outside of this year, what goals have you seen or things that you've seen that you want to change going into next year?
I actually talked to our current College of Business senator about this, Nikita. So I definitely want to get first and second years more involved, just to create more of a community, and because right now I feel like it's a little bit harder to get involved and get to know things that's going on in our business community here at CSUMB as a first year myself. So definitely creating hosting events or hosting more things to get our community connected and all, because one issue that I've seen and other students have expressed is the disconnect between, in the College of Business. So I definitely want to build bridges and create more opportunities for people in our major to connect.
And when it comes to sort of the time that you have spent at CSUMB for both of you, what leadership have you really shown, or what activities have been able to sort of give you a leadership opportunity in order to do something like this, be a senator?
As I've only been here for a short time, I am an orientation leader right now, so definitely that gives me the opportunity to talk to people more, get myself out there, get public speaking skills sharpened, and also, running for this position. And also I'm a part of like different clubs, so I'm trying to join clubs more this semester. So in general, those kind of like orientation leader and running for this position and being a part of different clubs, it definitely is helping my experience and uplifting my need or want to run for this position.
For me, growing up, I was always involved in like leadership activities and stuff like that. So I guess like a more recent like thing I could say is I also work at Starbucks on campus, and I think sometimes like I kind of have a leadership role when it comes to like, finding out who needs to go where, especially during a rush, because, a lot of students come in at like 2 to 3 on a Wednesday, and it's crazy packed, and you have to put everyone like, at places that they're needed. And I feel like sometimes when I do that, it's a leadership kind of role that you have to take on.
Great. And as a leader, how do you intend to sort of actively reach out to students? How do you intend to connect with them for your college?
So one thing that I'm actively doing right now for this semester is me and my dean are doing these mixers basically, just with like all the, everyone's welcome, but it's specifically targeted towards liberal studies majors, and we also have a grad student one that we're planning on, as well as virtual, because we're aware that not everyone's able to make it in person. So reaching out with mixers like that, being able to talk to people in those is something that we're working on, so we can communicate one-on-one and really get like that one-on-one voice.
Something I'm also trying to make happen is having mixers within our community or little events that can increase that community within our department, like cookies with the dean, or just more like business events. I don't know if you guys went to the winter night market, but things like that where we could have opportunities to connect with one another and talk to create more of a connection.
Wonderful. And for both of you, have you ever done sort of a group project or sort of a collaborative project in a course or for a job that sort of identified to you what your role is in a group and as a leader?
Yeah, in my senior year of high school, I was an editor in the yearbook. So, and my goal was to increase coverage in the yearbook to get the people who were behind the scenes, who weren't really behind the camera super often. This was really important to me because not only was it just like getting pictures of everybody at the school, but it was also like getting those voices that were not heard, or they didn't have the opportunity or courage to like put themselves out there to talk. So I wanted to use my power and my outgoing personality to bring them out of the crowd and to uplift them.
So as for a group project, I would bring up the scholarships, more specifically the one that Heido had opened up, which is the housing scholarship, and the entire like COC community of colleges. We had a part in that, as talking about it, having a part in, I guess, like the rubric and all, and how it would be distributed money-wise. So that's one of the group projects I'd say that I was involved in.
And for both of you, how much time do you have left at CSUMB? How much time do you sort of have to grow and move forward with these events and these ideas?
After this semester, I have 6 more semesters at CSUMB.
I'm a second year, and I have 4 more semesters at CSUMB.
Wonderful. And as sort of a final hurrah to both of you, thank you so much. What would you say is sort of the main topic of your campaign, the main reasoning for why you're running for the role you're running for, and what it is that you want to do with your campaign and with this job?
I guess my core thing is definitely student initiative, because your voice is my mission. I really want to be able to hear you out, especially with the new student Dropbox that came out recently this year. So I'll definitely say that's my core value.
Some of my missions and goals with this position would be to, like I mentioned before, to bring more connection between our students, particularly the first and second years, to the rest of the business community in our department. I also want to bring in the local businesses or alumni to come and talk to our students right now to give us some insight, because they are the result of what our College of Business has done. I definitely want to bring in more alumni because they're so important. They're gonna help the future of business for CSUMB. And then I also want to host more events so we can get more communication within our department and also uplift our student entrepreneurs.
Wonderful. And for those of you who may not know, Associated Students has their Instagram AS_CSUMB, where the Dropbox that Cassie was referring to is available under the link tree, as well as a lot of other resources that we provide and forms that we have open and other surveys as well. I thank you both so much for being here, and please give them a round of applause as we say thank you to them. Wonderful. Next, we are going to have the two candidates running for College of Health Sciences and Human Services, Steven Alvarado and Ivan Caballero. Wonderful. If you guys want to pick up those mics. First question for you both is going to be, is there a leader either in history or within Associated Students that you look up to?
When I think of a leader that inspires me, I go back to my senior year in high school. I was part of a fire program, and my fire instructor, he was like the best combination of authoritative leader and collaborative. He knew how to speak to everybody, he engaged in everybody, and he always inspired us to do something with us the day we walked the line.
Switch that out with this one.
I would go ahead and say, just because I was in band throughout high school, from even in middle and elementary, but specifically through high school, my band director, just being with him for 4 years and then becoming section leader my junior and senior year, I really got to connect with him a lot more, and him being a director obviously meant he had leadership roles, so taking on the role of a section leader during high school, even though that was 3-4 years ago, a lot of the practices that I learned from him, I still apply to day-to-day life and collaboration projects or at work, and I feel like the knowledge that he kind of passed on to me is something that's honestly priceless and just comes with, networking and knowing people. So, and yes, I would definitely say my band director from high school is someone that I still even have connection with today. Just referring to him whenever I need advice or I might need a reference for something. So yeah.
Awesome. And speaking to sort of being in band or in work or other groups otherwise, what experience do you have being within a group that has shown you what kind of leader you want to be and what kind of collaborator you are?
So having an early start to being a section leader, because this was typically a role that was given your senior year. So I had kind of a start just being my junior year. And with that, obviously I wasn't perfect at first. It was a lot of learning. It was a lot of obstacles in my way, just because I had never really had been given this type of role, so significant, especially managing, 20 students within a section. It really taught me how to just be one-on-one with people, because I realized that if you're not one-on-one with your group and your people, then your group is ultimately going to fall apart, as not everyone's being heard. So I feel like definitely having, managing a larger group of individuals kind of helped, and there was a lot of learning along the way. I would say just working with a group and getting people together to work on goals or things that we wanted to work on for, our field show, or whether it be our concert season. Just having that role taught me a lot of valuable practice and tactics that I even use today in my life.
And for you, Ivan?
May you repeat the question, Commissioner?
Yeah, so what are sort of the collaborative groups that you've been able to be a part of that have shown you not only how you work as a leader, but also as part of a team?
Oh, okay. When I think of group work, I always go back to high school or even in my community college doing group papers, group presentations, and stuff like that. However, it wasn't until I got here at CSUMB where I was able to be part of Associated Students and take on a leadership role for the Committee of Colleges and be able to work with a dynamic group of people and release scholarships for students, work at tabling events. And as a leader, I've learned to always ask for everyone's opinion, whether we are just discussing about meetings or if I'm talking to them individually. It's always trying to really make sure we're a team, and it's been a pretty great experience so far.
And for both of you, why specifically this college senator? To run for a college senator, you do have to be a part of that major, but why specifically a senator for your college rather than a different position in AS?
With my major, I already find it one of the smaller majors within the CSU Monterey Bay community. I noticed that there's a lot more like psych majors, bio majors, and I would find this role to be able to give me a platform because, again, my major is so small within the community that not many people know about the CHSHS community, which is social work and public health and nonprofit organization management. And realizing like if I was given this platform that I would be able to do a lot of advocating for the college specifically, especially being enrolled in a lot of upper divisions already. I'm hearing a lot of concerns and issues within the community, either personal or as a whole. And I see it as an opportunity to voice these opinions and actually do something versus than just listening and, acknowledging. I would love to have the opportunity to take initiative into my own hands and work on these problems and issues and, guide students and faculty within the community to success.
So originally, I actually applied for the Basic Needs Center, mainly because my orientation leader was always involved wearing an AS polo, and I wanted to be involved on campus. And then this position was open, and the one thing that I really enjoyed about it was being able to reach to my classmates and be a resource for them about almost everything that is going on campus. And if I am reelected, I do hope to form a student council that involves the entire college, not just our CHHS major, but nursing, kinesiology, and of course the Masters of Social Work program.
And speaking to your majors and the coursework, what is it that you have learned within your majors that is going to give you the confidence and the ethic to be able to do this position?
I would say that, wait, could you repeat that last part, sorry.
So what do you think within sort of your major is going to be able to teach you about this position and sort of give you the basis for what you need to know?
A lot of the coursework, being a social work concentration, it's a lot of group projects, it's a lot of group work. You're usually not working alone on projects. So honestly, what I'm learning from class, aside from just assignments and coursework, is coming from just working with other people and just collaborating, even like outside of the classroom. I have a class that meets once a week daily, but we're supposed to meet once a week outside of class to do these discussion guides. So I feel like just with the coursework alone and just like the outside activity has honestly like boosted my confidence to get to apply for this role. Just being I've never like done AS. This is my first time applying, so I feel like just with the major and the coursework has given me like not only the confidence but also a platform to apply for something as unique as this.
May you repeat the question, Commissioner?
Yeah, so when it comes to sort of your major and what it is that you're focusing on within your college, how is that going to sort of teach you what you need to know, give you the basis for this position?
Well, within my college, I will just start off by saying that our dean and faculty really engage with us already. They already have something like a student advisory board going on, and I feel like me and my being a representative we can only enhance that student body a lot better. And I think, like Steven said earlier, we are the smallest college, not the prettiest building on campus, but we are the most united, 100%.
Wonderful. And for both of you, what is sort of a major issue on campus that you feel strongly about that you're going to carry into next year and try to improve?
For me, I would say there's a lack of network opportunity within the major. I feel like there could definitely be a lot more networking opportunities, either through workshops or special speakers. I just find that coming out of this major, you kind of just have your internship with you, which you're required to do 240 hours of, required to graduate. But I feel like a lot of opportunity comes from networking, and I see that there's a lack of networking within the college, a lack of speakers, a lack of people in the field. The only thing we kind of sort of get is the internship fair, which happens once a year, and I feel like that is one of the only networking opportunities for this college, and I would like to see a lot more just networking and workshops and speakers within that community for us.
So within the campus, I do notice that the school spirit is very low, so I would love to increase the student engagement within collaborative health science and human services. The biggest thing is not having enough people, which leads to limited sections in class, and I would love to work with my dean to figure out how we can improve that.
And last question for both of you. What is sort of a brief statement or a word that you think represents your campaign and resonates with you as a candidate?
I don't want to make any, how would I word it? Like just open-ended promises and just say, I'm going to hear you, because I want to put actions behind my words that I stand by, because I know how almost like infuriating it is to have a concern and have people be like, I get it, and then you don't see an outcome. And I really want to push action more than what I'm saying up here, because I realize that actions obviously speak a lot louder than words. So I would like to work a lot hands-on with, deans and students and faculty, and organize events or networking opportunities for the college, just because I see that, again, there's a lack of that within this community. So I would just honestly say feedback is going to be the biggest help for me, because I obviously have concerns for my community, but also so many other students within my community have concerns and issues and want to voice their opinions. So honestly, their feedback is something that's so, I guess you could say, valuable to my role within this within AS. So honestly, I would love to just put action behind my words and like boost the community, honestly.
A brief statement for me would be is that I'm here for you, and the words that would go with that is that I'm kind and I do care.
Wonderful. Okay. I commend you both. Thank you so much for being here. Please give them a round of applause for taking the time to do this. So last of the candidate groups that we have before we begin intermission is going to be our College of Science. We have 4 candidates for this one: Eduardo Lopez, Augustina Puccia, Trinity Stallworth, and Alyssa Walter. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so first of all, for all of you, just to start off, what is a word or 1 to 2 words that sort of describe why you're here, what your campaign is?
I would say communication. 1 word.
I want to say consistency.
I want to say advocacy.
New opportunities and transparency.
Wonderful. Eduardo, brought in communication for me. What does that mean for you?
Communication means clarity between students and staff, and just communication within the College of Sciences, and for us to talk to each other, because community is a big thing, and yeah.
And Trinity, for your word?
We need to remain consistent in what we say and what we do. We need to make sure that everything we're taught is being put to good use.
And Augustina?
For advocacy, just being aware of when an issue or a situation, an unfair situation comes up, and being able to be the voice for the students who feel like they don't have a strong enough voice to the department.
For transparency, I'd say transparency is really important, not just within our College of CSUMB, between our pro staff, our students, faculty, and admin, but also just in the College of Science as a whole. Transparency is really important in science.
And it seems like all of you sort of have a clear focus. So what is an issue that you sort of are picturing, or something that you want to fix going into next year if you were to be in this position? If you want to start, Alyssa.
Yeah, so I think that one thing I would really like to work on is increasing scholarships for people within the College of Science, obviously CSUMB as a whole, but adding scholarships for people in the College of Science would really help everyone to focus on their studies, and it's extremely important in science to get experience while you're in your undergrad so that you can get into the grad school you want or move on to that job that you're hoping to get after school. And so finding scholarships or just more paid internships for our students would allow them to get that experience they need while they're here so that they can do what they want afterwards.
And Augustina, if we want to start going backwards.
So something that I really like for there to be a change of is having more tutoring opportunities for upper division science classes, because just this semester a organic chemistry tutoring has been established, and I know from a lot of other science classes there are no tutoring opportunities, and I know from my experience and my other fellow classmates, we would have appreciated more if there were more tutoring opportunities when we did take these classes. So I want to see more tutoring classes being given, just to have more success for those classes instead of having students needing to retake those classes because they couldn't pass it because there wasn't any tutoring opportunities.
Trinity?
I want there to be more financial aid available for new students, for old students. There needs to be more income brought to the students, mainly for the fact that that is a barrier between students and their education. And I believe there should be no barriers.
Eduardo?
I think an issue with the College of Sciences, or just all colleges, could be accessibility. I mean, just like all of us just stated, it's all being, what's available for us students, So, I mean, I think making everything available, it would be beneficial for all students to succeed in their classes and make a better image for our school.
And for dealing with these concerns, how many semesters do you each have left at CSUMB?
I have 2 semesters left.
I have 2 semesters left.
I have roughly 3 semesters, but that is to be determined.
I also have 2 semesters left.
Wonderful. And for a lot of these issues, these are clearly ones that both you have experienced but also have heard from other students. So how do you intend to sort of bridge the gap between students and student government and make sure you are available to hear student concerns? Whoever wants to begin.
I can begin. I think that open communication with students is obviously one of the most important parts of this job. As I said earlier, I really value transparency, and so I will make myself available through every way I can. Email, through social media even, and especially in-person office hours, because I believe that face-to-face conversations are still the best way to communicate with others. So I would like to hold weekly office hours for everyone.
I'll go next. I definitely, like Alyssa said, I want to be able to communicate and get in touch with all the students. Also the not the faculty, the staff, like people who work within the Department of Science, get in touch with them, like give them tell them like what the students want, and like be able to put myself out there and be able to relay the message of other students. And as Alyssa said, like make myself available in any way possible in emails, social media, also office hours, because that's probably a more effective way. But yeah.
I'd like to reiterate, communication is key. And I will make myself available. Office hours, emails, even if you see me down the street, even if you see me outside, come talk to me. I will listen to your problems. I will write them down. Everybody deserves to be heard. I understand it may be difficult to have your voices heard, or you feel like you may not be able to be heard. But just come. Try to talk to me, and it'll all be okay.
I want to be a friend to all my classmates, my peers, and I want to be the friend that talks to the teachers and makes our voice heard. And I think it's very important to have that within for fluidity within our college and the success, right, of our students. So I'm a friend for you, for whoever wants to reach out to me. Through Gmail, whatever, talk to me. I can talk. So yeah.
And being open to communication, sometimes that means taking criticism. Sometimes that means facing backlash from students so that you can buffer it and bring it to administration, like your dean, or even further. So how do you intend to deal with students who are criticizing you?
I think I would listen to their criticism to some extent and focus on improving what my mistake was or whatever happened, improve it, right?
Okay, so if no one's criticizing me, then there's a problem. So, when it comes to dealing with criticism, please let me know what I'm doing wrong. I want to be there for you guys. I want to be available, open, so that means I get to take criticism with a giant smile on my face, and then I'll try to fix what I'm doing wrong.
When it comes to criticism, I feel like being able to reflect and learn from what you're being criticized for is really important, because that way you'll be able to learn and improve for the future.
Yeah, criticism is an extremely important part of the learning process, and so I want your criticism and I want your feedback. Criticism is also a super important part of science, and so I feel like I've learned to take criticism quite well through the research I've done and the feedback I've gotten. So I would use those skills to apply to this position and take all of your feedback and learn to change.
And for all of you, why run specifically for College of Science Senator? Why not choose another position within Associated Students?
I love the sciences, and I think that it should be represented well within, so that we have something to show and something to create and something to learn in that science.
So, I'm a computer science major. I have seen people sacrifice their education in order to go to school for money, to help their family. I want to be able to fix that. And that requires me to run for the science senator position. I have to start with my group first, and then I'll be able to branch off and help everybody. So that means science senator, and who knows, maybe next year president.
From what Eduardo said, I also really love the sciences. I've had such a great experience these past 3 years being a STEM major, and I want to be able to improve it, make it more well-known within the university. And I've even spoken to the current College of Science senator, and he has told me so much about it, and it just made me want to run for the position even more. So, yeah.
I would say that there's a lot of reasons I want to run for this position. Through my current position in AS, I've learned that my favorite part is working with students and advocating for the students, and what better way to do it than in the college I'm so passionate about. I also feel like I represent a lot of the College of Science because I'm kind of spread throughout it. I'm a UROC scholar, I also have a statistics minor, and I'm a marine science major. And so I would like to use all of the experience I've learned through research, internships, scholarships, and help disseminate that to other students and create new opportunities through the connections that I've made.
And when it comes to sort of skills that you've built on this campus, what is sort of an organization or an activity that you've participated in that you think has shown you bases or opportunities that you'll need for this position?
I think the sports activities here on campus have made me feel like well prepared for this. As I work with others through sports, I think with people I can talk with people and listen and take action.
So for me, sad to say, I haven't really been involved in any activities on campus. But I know that my schooling has helped me with the necessary tools I need for this position. I'm able to communicate, and I am able to help people.
Since my freshman year, I've been a part of sports club teams, and that way I've been able to meet and interact with so many more people, and then becoming a board member within the SEC had me speaking and interacting with so many more people. And Cody, I'm sorry, can you reiterate your question?
Absolutely. So any activities or organizations that you've been a part of that you think have given you skills for this position?
Okay, I was going on a good track then.
Understandable.
So from my freshman year being a part of club teams and being on the e-board for Sports Club Council, it really just set me up to being able to communicate to almost anyone that I come across, or any new people that I meet, whether it's admin or other students or you name it. It just helped me be able to communicate more confidently with people.
I would also touch on Sports Club Council. This year I served as the president of Sports Club Council, which allowed me to sit on the AS Executive Board, so that really prepared me for work in AS in other departments, such as Senate. And I would also have to touch on UROC. UROC has provided some great professional development opportunities, connections, and also research experience that I would really apply to my position as College of Science Senator, because those are all things that would benefit members of our College of Science. Yeah.
And College of Science this year is the most highly contested position. All four of you are all going for the same position. So what is it that you want to say to your constituents of why you should be the one to have this position? What is sort of a brief statement of your campaign? Whoever wants to begin.
I can begin. I believe that over the past 3 years here, I've fostered a lot of relationships with admin through my previous roles, through faculty, through my different research endeavors, and also through the students through my work with SCC. And so I believe that I would do a really good job of taking in all of your thoughts, all of your opinions, all of your ideas, and really disseminating that to the right people, because I know those people, and I also have connections off campus through other internships and fellowships that I would really like to try to utilize to have more benefits for our College of Science and also CSUMB as a whole.
I guess I can go. I guess these past 3 years, I've come across a lot of unfairness within the college, well, some classes within the College of Science. And I'm sorry, Cody, can you restate your question
Absolutely.
again?
So what sort of would you tell students if they approached you what your campaign is? Why is it that they should vote for you over the other three here at the table?
Okay. So, as I said, like these past 3 years, I've come across a couple unfairness within some classes within the College of Science. And I want students to know that they could come to me for any, if they see or experience any unfairness, and they know that they can rely on me to help voice their concerns and voice what they want to improve within the College of Science. And so them knowing that they can confidently rely on me and hopefully see a change within the College of Science.
So I'm a transfer student, but already I've seen the pitfalls of this college, and I believe there has to be a change. I would like for financial aid to not be a barrier, and for individuals who want to go to college to be able to attend college, and that scholarships to be attainable. I want everybody to know that they can come to me and that I am available and open to hear all of your concerns.
I want to be able to include everybody. Working here in laboratories, as College of Sciences do, you learn to work with people and be with everybody and include everybody, because we all want to be a part of it, and I want to make sure that you guys are a part of it with me. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Please give a round of applause to our College of Science candidates. Up next, we are going to have a 15-minute intermission, so please get water, talk to each other, and know that those campaigns are going to come out, so watch out for those, and voting is going to begin on March 20th. So please go take a break and return to hear from the executives and see all the candidates come together. Thank you.
question, is what I would tell a student is I'm going to be here for you, and as long as you're here for me in that representative position, I'll make sure that our school is promoted, and I'll make sure that your voice is heard.
I think personally I'm really driven by my genuine love for this school and the community that we have here. I joined AS last May, and ever since joining I've just realized how unique of a community we have here and just how brilliant every individual person is on this campus. And I really want to showcase that because, I just think it's important to recognize that even though there are challenges and there are obstacles, there's also so much room for growth and so much room for improvement, and we can do that together. And I would never want to do that just based on my own personal desires. I want what the school wants, and I want to be able to give people a platform in which they feel like they can grow and they feel like they can thrive in the way that, or doing that in the way that works best for them. And so, yeah, I really love this school, and I love the people here, and I just want to be someone who can really just be a guide and a friend, and just, whatever you need to feel your best, that's what I want to be.
Yeah, I think just sort of to jump off of what Gabby's saying there, I have a lot of love for this school. I have a lot of love for AS as an organization as well. It's done a lot for me, and so I see myself in this position as sort of doing the most I can do to give back. My role isn't as forward-facing as something like Aaron's or Gabby's, but I see my role as very important. And yeah, I think that it's going to be very important going into the next semester that we have a consistent vision for the stewardship of our governing documents and sort of just maintaining that North Star for how our organization acts and governs itself.
So as a first-year student, I really saw the potential that this school has had, and being a part of this government, I think it would give me a lot to work with. There's so much that can be improved in this school, and I want to be a part of making that change.
Yeah, and when it comes to sort of these changes that you want to make and sort of what it is that you're going to be focusing on, what is sort of how you will deal with administration? Let me reword that. So executives, you have this sort of direct connection to administration. So that often includes Dr. Ben Corpus and very often includes President Vanya herself. So how do you intend to sort of bring these issues, bring these concerns up with administration?
So one thing we have currently is a resolution that we're actually making through executive board currently that talks about having that student representation at these different committees. So in my role for next year is not making sure that's only upheld, but administrators are listening to students, and when they have those concerns or have that kind of voice during that committee, is making sure that they have that kind of shared experience and that shared group governance. And so essentially for me, if a student comes to me and they want to address something specific with a department, or may it be a different organization, something like that, my job is to make sure that the administrator and my one-on-ones, may it be, or just walking by, I'm the active person that goes and makes sure that that's communicated and make sure to follow up on any sort of action that is led by that. And a lot of students, may be afraid to voice their opinion, may be afraid to, say a certain thing because it may be looked down upon, or it may not go the way where everybody's going. And so having those different voices and having that diversity of making sure, you're including every single voice in that sort of topic or discussion is really important. And so in my role is making sure that our administrators are listening to those unspoken or quiet voices that are still voices that need to be heard.
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of great resources at our disposal. Like you mentioned, Dr. Ben Corpus has been, in my view, a great ally to our organization. I just had a meeting with him 2.5 weeks ago, about something that had come up regarding the Spirit Mark business that was happening on campus. And he's just one of those guys that is always willing to listen, is always willing to, even if he doesn't necessarily agree with you, he has a sort of knack for making himself open to, as an avenue of communication between us as associated students and the university administration. I also, in my role as Vice President of Internal Affairs, I'm also sitting on the university's Strategic Planning Committee. And so over the course of this year, we're going to be working to create a strategic plan for the university, for the next 3 or 4 years. I plan on listening to some of the concerns that students have, because my role as VPIA isn't necessarily forward-facing, but it doesn't mean that I can't take actions that affect the university system as a whole, not just AS internally. And so I plan on trying to incorporate a lot of the criticisms, the concerns that I hear about administration into the policies that I try to implement through the Strategic Planning Committee.
Yeah, I believe that being on AS is kind of like puts you in a unique position where you are that bridge between students and administration. Well, you are a student yourself, so you're a student directly in contact with administration. And personally, whenever someone brings up an issue that they have with just the way we do things here or anything on campus, I write it down in my notes, or I write it down somewhere and I keep it in mind so I can bring it to meetings, or whenever I go to town halls or any meeting concerning higher education, I take notes on it. And I think that kind of collecting all those thoughts down, it makes it easier for me to be able to, one, remember, and then two, be able to communicate it back to the people who need to hear it. We don't just have, the university president, we also have, student affairs and enrollment management, we have the provost, we have the dean of students, and each of those administrators provide a kind of their own contribution to what goes on here on campus, and identifying which person to talk to is really important, especially since if it directly concerns something that they are working to improve, then they would be more than happy to hear it. So just being that bridge of communication and making sure to schedule meetings with them, making sure to bring them to Senate, making sure that they're easily accessible for students, not just for AS, but also for students outside of AS to talk to, I think is really important.
So in the past, I've worked with leadership and being able to get face first with administration, and I think that having a Dropbox where students can address their concerns has been really helpful in the past, and I know that we can do that here now. So I want to be able to see those concerns that students have and bring them up to administration as much as I can so that they don't get left out.
And as sort of a last question for you all, what would you say is the word or the pillar that you're focusing your campaign on? What's something that you've focused on, and why is that going to take you into this leadership position?
That's a great question. I think one of the, if I can narrow it down to a single word, is us. I know that's going to be one of our new branding marks too, the strength of us. And so I really feel like when I'm here at CSUMB, there's a tightly knit community. It's not just with students, but it's also with faculty and staff members. One of our big things here at this college is having that 1 to 26 or 27 student to faculty ratio, and making sure we're not like a big UC that's, you can't even email the professor and not get a response back. And so being able to say that, hey, my teacher knows my name is super important. And so having that kind of small knit community and having that small knitness and just being able to bond with one another. And, I can walk down Main Quad and see somebody I know. And so really the power of us is a big, big thing that I feel like I can really kind of brand my campaign on, and I really want to represent, is that there is a big, big power in us as students.
I would say mine, and this is going to sound cheesy, but I would say mine would be love. As I mentioned before, I have a very strong love for this campus, and I want to foster a community in which we can all grow, in which we feel safe to speak our minds, in which we feel really seen and heard and really considered, and in which, even when we are making mistakes, when there is room for improvement, that we're doing so, we're encouraging that improvement in a loving way that doesn't, make anyone feel judged or bad. Because at the end of the day, we're all learning. We're never going to know everything that there is to know in the whole world. And I think that, without love, you can't really encourage that kind of growth. And so that's why I would choose that word.
Mine I don't think is as spiritual as Gabby or Aaron's will be. I guess word that I would want to go for is consistency. I look forward to continuing on a lot of the work that I've been taking on this semester. If you're in AS and you see me in the office, I'm always working on drafting a bill to revise some element of our governing documents or something like that. I told Senate that if I'd done my job right, that they'd be sick and tired of seeing me up in front of the Senate because I'm always trying to present some kind of bill or revision to them just to make sure that our governing documents are more in line with who we are as an organization than what kind of organization we were last time they were revised, which for some of the documents is going on 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, consistency in that vision, not just in the work that I've done this semester, but also in the work that I want to take on the next semester.
I think my word would be community, because I've noticed my first year here so far that the community here at CSUMB is really like inclusive, and there's so much like going on, and it's really nice to see how this tight-knit community just flourishes. And I think that's something that I want to, like, you know, give light to. It's not something you see every day where a community comes together, like with one of the AS events, the Sip and Swap, where people like come in, have a drink, and like, you know, trade clothes and stuff. And I think the events that we host are really lovely, and, you know, community is just really nice to have, especially in our government.
Thank you all so much. Please give them a round of applause for being up here.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
all.
much for being here.
Thanks.
That is the last of our questions, so I am going to have all our candidates return to the stage right now. If I can have the College of Arts candidates from the College of Arts Senate, Drake Field, Lolly Harvey, and Riley Jew. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for being here. We have the College of Business candidate, Maddie Mendoza, and College of Education, Cassie Rodriguez. We have College of Health Sciences and Human Services, Stephen Alvarado and Ivan Caballero. We have College of Science, Eduardo Lopez, Agustina Puccia, Trinity Stallworth, and Alyssa Walter. And finally, we have our executives. So Elections Commissioner, Hillary Wright, Vice President of Internal Affairs, Liam Christescu, Vice President of University Affairs, Gabby Whedon, and AS President, Aaron Villarreal. Thank you again so much for being here. If you want to see them again, please come back on March 18th. We will be holding our second debate here in the World Theater from 3 to 5:30 p.m. That will also include the speeches from each candidate, so they will all have 5 minutes to tell you what it is that their campaign is running on and why it is that you should vote for them. So thank you so much, candidates. You can leave now. Thank you. So please look out for AS_CSUMB on Instagram. In the next few days, we will be releasing a survey with a Google form for student questions. So if you saw questions in this debate that you didn't necessarily agree with, or if you feel there were questions that you have that haven't gone answered, please look out for a survey, as our next event, the debate and speeches, will include questions from the student body and then the speeches themselves. Voting days will be on MyRaft from March 20th through March 22nd, so anyone who is a currently enrolled student will have the ability to vote. And on April 3rd, we'll be doing a results release party in the Inter-Garrison Quad, which is going to be a bunch of food, a bunch of fun. It's going to be really nice, and it's going to be a big congratulations to the candidates for all their hard work. If your friends couldn't make these events, or if there are people you know who are concerned about what they may need to hear from the candidates, who they want to vote for, this video will be on Otter Media, the YouTube channel, as well as our next one will be live again and will also be available on the YouTube channel. So you all have time to do your research, and that will be accessible on the ballots as well. So thank you so much to our candidates, to Otter Media with Micah, to Bill and Taylor of the World Theater, and to my stage manager, Piper. We will see you all back here March 18th. Thank you.